Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So we're back in the world of War Thunder, and after the last video, you guys requested that I took a look at a German tank. So we've gone for the Panzer III. Now the Panzer III and IV tanks were great tanks throughout the war, but the one thing a lot of people don't realise about them is that this was the backbone of the German forces. The Tiger and the Panther were simply unreliable, and they weren't widespread enough to take out a lot of the main duty roles, so the Panzer III and IV really got developed into quite a fine tank by the end of the war, even though it was particularly outclassed. In the case of the Panzer III, a lot of these got refitted to become recon tanks, and with its 50mm gun, there's no wonder why. It's got a little bit of penetration on its side, and it doesn't do too much damage when it penetrates anyway, and coming across some of them late war tanks, you've not really got a chance, but you do have speed on your side. Anyway, enough of that, let's have a look at the armor itself. So what we've got here is this beautiful rolled Schultzen armor on the side, so you can see that there, as well as on the turret, offering some extra protection from certain projectiles. And we've also got the tracks on the front, but really this is offering no protection at all from a shot up front. It's going to go straight through you. Anyway, let's see what this tank's capable of, and I'm going to take it into some rounds and play it my way. So jumping straight into the action, we're engaging a Panzer IV straight off the bat. We've got into this forward sort of recon position, but we really need to be careful here. A single shot into our driver's bay is a quick death in the Panzer III. Once you're immobilized, you're very quick, and you're a very tasty target for many of the higher tier tanks that see you as a complete and utter idiot being destroyed in the open. Talking about being an idiot, I decided to crash into a wall here, and in the panic I popped my smoke grenades all over the place. But now what I need to do is look for a little bit of a gap and punch a hole straight through their lines. So we've just had a little Puma armoured car advance up. It's taking some fire from the right, so we're not going that way. Panzer emerges, take him out quite quickly. An insta-kill with this tank is particularly rare on them higher tiers, but you'll guess it went through an ammo rack. The tanks on the left are being engaged by something down there. I don't really want to play with whatever's shooting at them. So I'm going to push up a little further, and you can see we have a Cromwell on the corner there, as well as two tanks just engaged this Panzer popping this smoke. I'm going to try to get a shot off the Cromwell, but I don't think I'm going to manage to thread it through the buildings. So on the left here, we need to creep around and just see what's waiting for us. It could be anything. Looks like a Cromwell and a T-34. First round bounces off. I started to panic a little bit here, but we need to take out his gunner first. So thread one through the upper top, and it spalls lovely, taking out his gunner and commander. Now next up, the T-34 is the biggest threat. Thread one through that lower area turret, the best way of taking out T-34, and he's out of there. Now the Cromwell's going to offer a little bit of a problem at this angle. Since we've already penetrated and killed it, we killed the loader in that shot, but we need to kill the driver and the forward machine gun port guy so we can actually get this tank out of action here. So one through that little driver's hatch should do the trick, and he's out of the action. So we've made ourselves a little hole in the lines, and we just really need to exploit that now. With this tank's sort of speed and agility, we've not got too much firepower, but we can get in there, and if we get on the flanks, we're going to cause a lot of damage. So we've got a Panzer up the road there. That looks like it's going to get knocked out by a teammate, and we're waiting for the Su-122 to come up the road here. So there we go, we can see it lurking around. One shot through the right side should finish it quickly. Only a critical, so the driver and the loader, I believe, is out of that tank at the moment. We've still got a tank on the right flank that we could push up and take out. But let's see if we can get on the flank of that 122 before it does any more damage to our teammates. So we've just took some damage from an aircraft crashing into us. Some of our Schultzens came off. Probably if that Schultzen wasn't there, we could have suffered significant damage. There we go, there's the 122. One right through the side again, eliminating that tank out of the action. We'll peek a little bit further, see what's going on. So we've got the KV-1. There's no point of engaging this guy. I fire one shot hoping to get lucky, but if I come back around that corner with my tank's thin armor, I'm going to be a dead man. So the best chance of survival here is pulling back and going for that guy on the corner who's most likely looking the other direction. But I think one of my teammates has a similar sort of idea. So we're pushing for this. I'm going to keep moving. You can see a plane's engaging me. I've got thin armor. If he has a larger 20mm cannon, he could penetrate my top armor and destroy me. Second shot finishes off the 122, and we continue on to win this game. Quite easily, to be honest. To be fair, the tanks weren't too difficult to compete against. Now moving to this next scenario, we're on the Russian tank factory, and I've pushed up once again extremely far into the enemy lines. In this case, I feel like I go a little bit close to their spawn, but you never know what's really going to happen in this situation. So as we're pushing through this area, the Panzer III seems to be really good in urban sort of scenarios, especially when you're coming up on the flanks like this. So we take out his driver so he can't reverse, and the second shot is going to go right into the center of him to eliminate the tank. there we go, Panzer IV out the way. And we're just going to continue creeping around this area, popping up at different directions, so we're kind of using a sort of guerrilla tactics, so they don't know where we're coming from. A little French tank, I believe, comes around the corner. We take out his drivetrain. I don't think he's even capable of actually penetrating us. He could be, so we better be careful. But we'll continue on the flank around the back. So we're getting closer and closer to the spawn. As you do this, the biggest issue of what's going to happen is you're going to be overwhelmed by an amount of enemy players, and they will eventually take you out. So as we push around here, you can see these enemies on the left and right side of me, but we need to clear this right flank first. We've got this early tier British tank going a little bit too fast to be controllable. I hit the gunner, and, well, I think I hit the gunner, but I actually just hit the loader and the commander. His turret's still operational. Take out the small tank behind him, and then realise his gunner is still in action. So a second shot should finish this guy off. But I've got the biggest issue possible with this tank. I'm immobilised right next to the enemy's spawn. So I've got 24 seconds to really panic and see what's happening. My teammates are doing quite well at cleaning the guys up behind me, so they shouldn't be coming in here. I'm using them nifty smoke grenades that are extremely useful at these early tiers. The early tiers tend to be not really equipped with smoke grenades or smoke generators of any kind, but with them they just protect you a little bit further and stop them enemies getting a drop on you, especially when you're vulnerable and repairing like this. So there we go. Driver is back in the action, and I'm going to make probably one of the biggest mistakes of this game and push a little bit too close to the spawn point. BT7 comes out straight through the driver's hatch, easy kill. We've got a Panzer III, I believe, over here with a short barrel, doing no damage to me due to the angle. And we send one straight through the side, taking the whole crew. Very lucky shot there. That doesn't usually tend to happen. And this is the point I realised that I may have messed up and gone a little bit too far. So using this tank's quick turnaround ability, we're going to get back into the flats and apartments area where it's a little bit safer for us and try to take out a few more people from the rear. So it looks like them guys behind us haven't spotted us yet. But look at this. I love this camouflage. It doesn't really suit this scenario. I need some sort of winter octopus camo for this particular environment. So there we go. Possible knocked out tank there from before. And we're keeping our eyes peeled for anything. You've got to be very fast on the reaction when you're engaging in these urban scenarios, because it's usually who gets that first shot is going to have the winning kill. So we've got another little tank. Just a simple Panzer II here. That's not really super dangerous. It's got his little auto cannon. That could do some damage to us all in the right, but it's not going to, because he's facing the wrong way. Probably looking at where I was before. And the only problem with these Panzer II tanks when it comes to engaging them is they have a lot of empty space within the cabin itself. So if you don't hit a particular crew member, the shots tend to go straight through the tank. But in this case, let's thread one through and take out the driver. And the tank's down. So we've got another tank emerging from the side. And I'm going to find myself very shortly trapped and surrounded. Talking about exactly what I said before, when if you get yourself too close to the enemy spawn point, you get yourself surrounded and eliminated very quickly. I popped the smoke grenades, but in arcade battles the smoke grenades are not as effective. Get a critical, hoping to take out his top turret area, but he continues to move on. So I'm going to call some artillery danger close on myself here, but I don't think I'm going to have the muzzle depression to get the shot on the tank that's coming around the left flank, and it's going to be me out the game extremely fast here. There we go. First shot in, artillery's coming, danger close, broken arrow sort of situation. And there we go, there's my elimination. Anyway, quick look at the Panzer III. Hope you enjoyed that. Request the tank in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.